Hey traders, welcome to Master the Market, where we help you become a market master. We had an absolutely crazy morning so far today. It's only been about 40 minutes since the market opened, and I've already locked in a $3,746 profit from one single trade. So we're going to talk about the strategy that I used to make this profit and go over the entirety of this trade. Make sure you stay tuned so that hopefully you can learn something from my trading and apply it to your own. Now, very quickly, before we get started, I want to remind everyone that we are doing a $500 cash giveaway in the Market Master group. The deadline to sign up and enter into this giveaway is this coming Thursday, August 22nd. So if you are interested in joining, for the next couple of days, we're doing a 50% off sale for the Market Master group. This is going to give you an annual subscription to the group. You're also going to be able to enter into that $500 cash giveaway. And by using that link down below in the description, you're going to be able to save 50% when signing up for this annual subscription. All right, so with all of that being said, let's get into the trade itself. This was straight off of the Market Master Group's gap up list and from the opening range breakout setups. We have the top 5 movers going into the market open today being ALZN, VRAX, APDN, TNXP, and GOVX. If we take a look at the pre-market movers, ALZN, which was the stock that I was able to lock in this profit from, was actually the top percent gainer going into the market open. It was up about 203% from its previous day's closing price at the time of 9 o'clock this morning, 30 minutes before the market opened. Now, some other important information that we should take note of is the volume at that point in time was already 11 million shares, and when you compare that to such a low float of only 810,000 shares, that volume rotating the float multiple times is a great sign for a potential short squeeze. You can kind of think about it as supply and demand. The float is the amount of shares tradable to people like you and I on the market. That is the supply for the stock, and the demand can be thought of as the volume. If there are millions and millions of shares coming in as buyers and there's only 810,000 shares available to be traded, that high demand and low supply is going to push the stock price higher. So those were the reasons that this was kind of, at the top of my watch list this morning for a short squeeze and for an opening range breakout. And sure enough, we get an opening range breakout level of $7.75. Just a few minutes later, ALZN is notified here by our opening range breakout bot that it is pushing above that 775 level. So if we take a look here at the 1 minute time frame, we can see initially, let's zoom into the open, that this had that opening range breakout pushed above 775 and kind of immediately started to reject that level and pulled back into those opening lows. Now, this is where position sizing and risk management is going to come into play. If you're taking a position size that is too large up into this opening range breakout, there's a good chance you're going to be a little bit too worried, you're going to panic, and you're going to cut losses into this pullback, which is not how the opening range breakout strategy is supposed to be traded. The goal with this strategy is to buy into that opening range breakout and risk off of the morning lows. So you should not be cutting losses with this strategy until the stock starts to break down underneath this opening low, which in this case is $6.78. So because of that, I took a starter position only into this stock. I knew that I was going to be risking well over $1 per share as I was chasing this up into the opening range breakout. So I didn't want to be buying 1,000 or 2,000 shares right away in this stock, because that could easily result in a $1,000 or $2,000 loss if the stock had that false breakout and then began fading underneath that opening low. So I took my initial starter position of 500 shares. Initially, of course, because this was a false breakout, I was sitting at a loss on this trade, but I had my risk management in place, and I knew that if it continued to hold those lows and it started to squeeze back up, because this was such a low float and because the volume was starting to really pour into this stock, there was going to be a great setup for a short squeeze and a spike up to new highs. So then, once this started to curl up back above the $8 level, back above that opening range, we get this quick spike up and we get an initial volatility halt. If we take a look here at our volatility halt scanner, that initial halt was at 9:45 this morning at a price of $9.12. At that time, the volume has already gone up from about 11 million shares in pre-market to 26 million shares. So there was clearly a ton of demand coming into this stock. That's why we got such a quick spike, and that's why it ended up in a volatility halt. So then once trading resumed, I was now confident enough in this setup and with my initial entry price being all the way down here to add 500 more shares into this trade. Most people think that it's better to average into pullbacks and to add shares into those dips because that's going to give you a lower average cost for your position. But if you're adding as the stock price is spiking and as it's moving in your favor, you're essentially just adding shares and adding money into your investment as the trade is already moving in your favor. So that was the thought process behind adding into this after that initial volatility halt. I ended up with an average cost of about $8.60 something cents, I believe, with 1,000 total shares in this trade. And the stock continued to spike higher and higher. A few minutes later, it went into its second volatility halt. Taking a look again at the volatility halt scanner, we can see that halt was at 9:53 this morning at a price of $12.87. Now hopping back over to the Market Master group, because I do talk about most of my trades in real time in the Market Master group so that some of our traders can hopefully follow along and make some money on these trades as well. I posted that we were going into the second volatility halt, and I mentioned that I was planning on locking in most of my profits in ALZN once trading resumes, because there was some daily chart resistance right in that $13 area. And as always, it's always a good idea to lock in a portion of your profits, if not the entirety of your profits, into key levels of resistance on that daily chart. So trading resumes, we get a false breakout to new highs and it starts to pull back down a bit. That's where I was locking in my profits. And again, I ended up with a $3,746 profit from this trade, simply using the opening range breakout and simply getting my confidence from my technical analysis, knowing that this was a low float stock, analyzing the volume, and buying into that momentum as it's starting to pick up. I want to give a quick shout out to Os888 in the Market Master group. This is one of our newer traders in the team, and he was able to lock in a quick $489 in profits on this trade as well. And he said that this was one of his best trades, only being in it for about 30 seconds. So that is a great trade, and it's always nice to see our team of traders locking in profits on these trades as well. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you found some value in it. If you did, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to get access to our $500 cash giveaway, our group chat, our day trade and swing trade alerts, our detailed trade plans, our live custom scanner streams, and so on and so forth, all of that can be found in the Market Master group. There's going to be a link down below in the description for you to get signed up and save 50% on your annual subscription. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.